the very serious and comprehensive report that you are bringing to us today, and I hope that we see this as the beginning of an ongoing dialogue for our community. Mayor, I've been very attentive and encouraged by what I've seen about the My Brother's Keeper program, both from the president's perspective and how it is now trying to be implemented on a local level. But I have I have some observations and then I have a questions I'd like to ask you, if I may. It seems to me that, in my perspective, that crime and going off in the wrong way and getting off on the wrong foot is a universal problem of poverty. That is now evil plays its role in there, but by and large it's a universal issue of poverty. And why I think this program's focus on young men of color is a beginning start. I would hope that we would be universalist in approach to address this issue as young men of poverty. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would.
Thank you. Because District J, the average household income is only $30,000. And I have a question about one of your placement of high schools here in a moment. So my first question is, $2 million seems like a lot of money, and then yet in the overarching program, it's not that much. Where do you think you would be looking for or looking to receive? And when you say $2 million, I assume that means the city's contribution.
City's contribution.
Have you identified any particular silos of monies yet that you're capable and able to speak about today?
You mean outside of the city?
No, from the $2 million. Where are you going to get the money?
I'm hoping that y'all will give it to me.
Well, I'm hoping that we can give it to you.
Let me tell you.
Councilman, that's not a question for Director Williams.
Okay.
It's a question for me, and the answer is no. I don't have $2 million sitting around. If I had $2 million sitting around, we wouldn't have had quite as long a budget meeting.
We're going to fall over that $2 million too.
Yeah, and it probably would have been spent.
Yeah.
But if this is a priority, and this is first a matter of realigning the resources that we were already spending. A lot of what we're doing is zero cost to the city. It's taking what we're already spending and redefining it. Then if we believe that the program that he's proposing is worthy and worthwhile, I intend to come back and shave money off of other places and make a presentation to council as to where we're going.
I look forward to hearing your proposal on that. Along those lines, Mayor, I guess my second question is better directed towards you. In as much as this is being proposed late in your administration, how are we looking towards a sustainability model to make sure that whatever we begin on this foundation continues, say, 3 and 4 and 5 years down the road?
That's a really excellent question, and sure, I wish I'd done it really early in my administration, but we've had other successes. And I should point out that Director Williams was intimately involved when we first set up our initiative that's been so successful on homelessness.
Sure.
A lot of the things I've been doing lately have been focused on starting the avalanches rolling downhill. Whether that's the general plan for the city of Houston, or the cultural plan, or the bicycle plan, our homelessness initiative, all of them by bringing in a broad swath of community stakeholders, getting consensus, getting that commitment early and up front. The avalanche starts rolling downhill, and if you can demonstrate early success, any future administration would be foolish, I guess is the mildest word I can use, not to continue. And since these are not, while $2 million is not insignificant, these are not dollar intensive programs. Again, the homelessness initiative is not a dollar intensive program. It's redefining what we do and creating the feedback loop and stacking it. And so I think it's more a matter of putting a framework in place, starting the avalanche, and the next mayor rolls along with it.
And I think we around the table welcome the beginning of that discussion. And finally, if I can ask you a question about the specifics of your report. On this May I follow up with this question there since?
Since I spoke so long, is that?
Well, that's kind of what I thought to say.
If you can define it quickly.
Yeah. This report, Mr. Williams, makes reference to focusing geographically collaborative for action preschool feeder patterns, and you reference Cashmere High School, Scarborough High School, Wheatley High School. And yet, on page 111 of this beautiful report, I noticed that you rightly include Lee High School, Sharpstown High School, and Westbury High School on the west side. So, can you explain, is that in furtherance of, or what is the role of those high schools in this program? Because I know Councilmember Green and I will be intimately and directly concerned about how they play in it, because we have constituent communities that need to be served if in fact we move forward with this program. Could you explain that, please? Thank you.
Yes. You notice I've never used the word pilot. I said we're going to start with these high schools. After the milestone groups make the initial recommendations, it would be easy to start cascading this into other feeder patterns. The thing that we would have to develop would be the area action teams in those feeder pattern groups. Councilmember Green and I talked about this yesterday. He expressed his interest to me. And quite frankly, we agreed that I said that if he helped me organize those principals and stakeholders in that feeder pattern, that we could entertain that. The problem here is that I really don't have the staff bandwidth to really cover all of these areas at one time.
I guess I would encourage you to reach out to my office, because Lee High School and Sharpstown High School, and I know that we can get some folks to the table to talk to you about that. And second of all, I would hope that we look at a citywide global approach and not just a localized approach. So thank you for your effort on this, and I greatly appreciate it. Look forward to working with you on it.
Councilmember, this is not intended, again, the director said, you have to start somewhere, and what we did on homelessness, we've been talking about homelessness for a long time. What we focused on was a much smaller problem, which was veterans homelessness, perfected our system on veterans homelessness, and then worked it out again. We have to start somewhere, and the broader our focus when we start, the less likelihood of success. And that is what has plagued these kinds of initiatives forever, which is we're going to do it citywide, and we fritter our efforts. And Director Williams, you want to add anything to that?
Mayor, I would just add to that. I don't disagree with that focus and that initiative. I would say to you that there are real needs in Southwest Houston, and we don't want to wait 4 and 5 years down the road to have, after you've perfected the program, to come out there and then try to help us. I think I'd like to offer initiative for us to be on the front end of this discussion. So I would hope that you would sit down with us to talk about.
Councilmember, I'll put you back in the queue, but I'll again repeat that we have to start somewhere. Councilmember.